if there's a kid watching who's feeling as pessimistic about Earth or about themselves as Elio, maybe by the time the film is over, they leave even just with a little bit of hope to find that friend, no matter where they might be or how far away they might be. Even just that I think would mean a lot to us at Pixar as filmmakers.
Se tiver algum alien me ouvindo, pode me levar, tá bom? Beijo, te amo! Tá acontecendo mesmo!
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. How are you, Madeline?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Congratulations on Elio. What a fantastic movie. Such
Thank
a
you so
beautiful
much.
story. So touching. I have to say that it's such like an endearing movie. And I know this is your first feature film as a director, right?
That's right, yeah.
How does it feel to do this change? You are an Oscar nominee for Burrow, which is also adorable. And I do see like similar things being treated in both movies. I wanted to know from you, how does it feel to be releasing your first feature film? And I wanted to tell me if Burrow somehow inspired Elio's story as well.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't really believe it. When I first joined the animation industry, I never thought that being a director was even on the table. When I was in school, there were no female directors at the time, so I didn't even think that was a possibility. But thanks to Domi Shi, my co-director, working with her on Turning Red is the first time I ever worked with a female director, and it totally changed what I thought was possible. So for me, working with her on this film was such an honor, and it was so much fun. We're friends outside of work as well, so that was a joy. And it's true that Burrow and Elio do share some similarities, where it's both about characters that, when you first meet them, they're very closed off, and they're characters that need to learn to come out of their shell and learn to trust and communicate with other people around them, how to look people in the eye and not be so self-focused, where both the rabbit and Burrow and Elio at the beginning of the film are only thinking about themselves and are only worried about themselves. So I do think it wasn't intentional, but it is funny that that's a theme I gravitate towards. I relate to that feeling quite a lot.
And I love that because I do think that it makes the movie not only more emotional, but more relatable to all sorts of audiences. Kids can relate to that, adults can also relate to that. And what I love about Elio's story is that this is a journey, not only like a journey to space, which is like the fantasy, the fable thing about the story, but I love the fact that it's about belonging, about finding your place in the world and trying to figure out how to deal with loss. I
Mm.
love that. I think it's such a profound thing. And we don't talk too much about loss, about grieving when we are talking about movies made for children. So please tell me about that, the way you try to approach grieving in this movie, and what kind of impact do you intend to cause in the audience?
Right. I mean, at Pixar, we take our research very seriously, and we also take, deep topics very seriously. And it was Pete Docter who suggested, who had just, helped out on Inside Out 2, which dealt with anxiety. He was saying, you guys need to talk to psychologists, especially child psychologists. You need to know what's going on under the hood of Elio. What's he really feeling? And so we were very fortunate. We were able to have a few guest speakers, a child psychologist, and also the Surgeon General at the time, Dr. Vivek Murthy, talked to us about the epidemic of loneliness. But what I found very interesting about loneliness, particularly about a children's view of it, is that there's a feeling of shame and sometimes guilt included in that loneliness, where you feel something's wrong with me, that I'm the problem, I'm the reason I can't connect with other people, and so I better stop trying because I'm not worth connecting with. And for us, hearing that totally unlocked the character of Elio for us, and we felt now we know how to heal him, because what he really needs is this friendship with Glorden, who likes him just as he is, and who he can voice for the first time his worries to, because sometimes a way to get out of loneliness is just to admit that you are lonely. So that informed a lot about how how to take his character from someone lonely and more self-centered in their loneliness to a character that could connect and, see his Aunt Olga, who was right there, right next to him this whole time. And our hope is, what's beautiful about cinema is that as you're watching a character, you're living the life with them. And as they're changing, sometimes you're changing too, and you feel the experience that they go through. So if there's a kid watching who's feeling as pessimistic about Earth or about themselves as Elio, maybe by the time the film is over, they leave even just with a little bit of hope to find that friend, no matter where they might be or how far away they might be. Even just that I think, would mean a lot to us at Pixar as filmmakers.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I love that answer. And the movie also talks a lot about family, about like dealing with your differences, the generation gap as well, and trying to find common ground so you can grow as a family and you can be stronger and united. Do you have particular experiences that somehow inspire this family dynamic that, like, I don't know, personal experiences, memories from your own life, your own family dynamic that somehow inspired Elio's journey with his aunt?
I mean, I feel very fortunate. My parents and I are very close. We still live very near each other. I see them all the time. But how I hooked into that relationship was through the character of Olga when we shifted her from mom. She used to be Elio's mom. We made a big story shift thanks to Julia Cho, who was also the writer on Turning Red. She suggested, if we make Olga Elio's aunt, now all of a sudden this relationship has so much more tension to it. And now both Olga and Elio are lonely because neither of them know each other. And that was so exciting to me. I almost related to that relationship and to Olga by my experience with the movie. I came onto the movie a little late. I felt like I had a lot of catching up to do. And one of the biggest questions about making the film was, who is this little boy? Who is Elio and what's going on inside? And what's funny is that Olga's asking herself the same questions. That's what she wants to know too. So for me, that was the way that I understood that relationship. And what I love about Olga is that everything that she's doing, even though it might be harsh, and it might be, maybe she's making some mistakes, but it's all coming from a place of love that Elio just isn't ready to see that yet. So I find that relationship very satisfying to watch them learn to understand each other and learn to see each other.
I completely agree with you, Madeline. Oh my God, that's exactly the take that I get from this movie, not only from the grieving thing, but also from the family dynamic thing. And I do think Elio is such a beautiful and heartwarming movie. So congratulations once again. And thank you so much for the amazing opportunity to be here talking to you. I do think this is your baby. So it's so good to be.
It's our boy.
I don't know. Yes, it's your boy. And it's so good to be here being part of something so special to you. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. It was so great talking to you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Vocês vão sentir a minha ira. Gordon?
Oi, pai. É só uma carta na manga. Não, fala aquela outra coisa. Socorro, pai. Silêncio.
Que som pavoroso é esse? Para!
Da Disney e Pixar. Elio, 19 de junho, nos cinemas.